Hey everyone, it was the year 1945. On December 5th, around 2:10 in the afternoon, 5 torpedo bomber planes belonging to the American Navy departed from Florida. This operation was named Flight 19. It was a standard 3-hour practice exercise. Nothing unusual about it, just a regular training flight. There were 14 people on board, commanded by their squadron leader, an extremely skilled pilot with war experience. These 5 aircraft headed east from Florida. Everything seemed fine. The sky was clear, but approximately 2 hours after departure, their leader reported that their compass suddenly malfunctioned. The compass had stopped functioning. They checked their spare compass, but that one also failed. They couldn't figure out where they actually were. They contacted the other pilots, but their equipment was also acting up. LT Charles Carroll Taylor was leading the squadron. After the compass failure, very confusing messages came through the radio. The weather began deteriorating. At 4:56 in the evening, Taylor thought their aircraft were somewhere over the Gulf of Mexico, and they needed to head east to reach Florida, so he ordered all planes to fly eastward. But some crew members on the flight believed they were already east of Florida, and they should be heading west instead. Shortly after this command, one of those aircraft sent a radio message saying, "This indicates some crew members thought they needed to fly west to return home." But the weather kept getting worse. Soon the sun set and darkness covered everything. At this point, experts believed the planes were actually 370 kilometers east of Florida. At 7:04 p.m., Taylor's final radio message was received. After this, all 5 aircraft vanished forever. Until today, nobody knows anything about these planes. Where did they go? What happened? After Flight 19 vanished, a search and rescue Mariner plane took off, carrying 13 crew members. Their mission was to locate Flight 19. But while searching for them, they also disappeared. First, 14 people from Flight 19 went missing, then 13 people from the rescue aircraft. For several days afterward, a massive air and sea search was conducted. One of the biggest search efforts of that era, trying to find both aircraft. But nothing was discovered. Not a single body was found, not even a piece of the planes. Everything had simply vanished. The interesting part is, the region where both aircraft disappeared, today we call that place the Bermuda Triangle. We don't know which direction is west. During the past 50 years, 3,000 ships and 100 airplanes have vanished in a strange stretch of water in the Atlantic Ocean. Ships have vanished, planes have vanished. Called the Devil's Triangle, a subject of curiosity, myths, and terror, this is the Bermuda Triangle. So where exactly is the Bermuda Triangle located? The Bermuda Triangle is considered an extremely mysterious section of the ocean. Here, over 100 planes and ships have vanished. They were never seen again. This region lies between Florida in America, Puerto Rico, and the island nation Bermuda in the north. It forms a triangular shape like this. In total, this region covers more than 500,000 square miles. Stories about the Bermuda Triangle go back over 500 years. In 1492, when Christopher Columbus sailed to discover the New World, he mentioned that while passing through this region, his compass malfunctioned. And one evening, looking at the sky from his vessel, he spotted a strange light, an unusual light that resembled a fireball, and he watched that fireball drop from the sky into the water. This was how the mystery began. Over the following centuries, this region got many names. The Graveyard of the Atlantic, the Sea of Doom, Sargasso Graveyard. These titles were used in the 18th and 19th centuries. But the term Bermuda Triangle was first used in 1964. In a publication called Argosy, an article was published by Vincent H. Gaddis in 1964 with the title, The Deadly Bermuda Triangle. This was when the term Bermuda Triangle was first introduced. In this piece, numerous disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle over several decades were compiled by him. He attempted to connect all of them, trying to build a mystery, suggesting that something unusual exists in this ocean region, which causes so many planes and ships to vanish. Though the article didn't explain why this happens. But this made the Bermuda Triangle mystery extremely famous at that time. So famous that numerous books were published about it. Many movies and video games were created. Even songs were made about the Bermuda Triangle. USS Cyclops mystery. Speaking of other incidents, another terrifying event occurred in 1918. It involved the USS Cyclops, among the largest and fastest vessels in the American Navy at that time. It was an extremely valuable asset for the American Navy, particularly when America entered World War I. It was used to carry soldiers and coal. On March 4th, 1918, 306 people were aboard the USS Cyclops. From a city near Washington called Baltimore to the West Indies, this vessel started its voyage toward Brazil. Besides passengers, the ship was carrying 11,000 tons of manganese. The journey was expected to take 9 days. The departure went smoothly. The weather was fine. Before leaving, the ship transmitted a message. But this message was the final communication from this vessel. After the ship started its voyage, no word came from it. It had vanished suddenly. Everyone was shocked. One of the largest vessels of the American Navy, such a massive ship, how could it just disappear? The Ellen Austin Mystery. If you found that incident mysterious, an even more frightening and eerie event was the Ellen Austin Mystery. In 1881, a 210 feet long vessel called Ellen Austin, sailing from London to New York, quite normal for that period. Many ships made this journey back then. But during its voyage, Ellen Austin came across an unknown ship near the Bermuda Triangle region. From outside, this unknown vessel appeared completely normal, but there were no signs of any people on board. No crew, no passengers at all. The captain of Ellen Austin decided to board the ship to investigate what happened. First, he brought his vessel alongside and waited for 2 days to see if there was anyone or any sign of life, for any response from the other vessel. But there was no response for 2 days. Then the captain stepped onto the unknown ship. There was plenty of cargo on this vessel, and everything was exactly where it should be. During that era, people feared pirates. They were cautious about pirate attacks who would rob the ships. This unknown vessel hadn't been attacked, because all the valuable goods were still there. Because of this, the captain of Ellen Austin decided to send some of his crew to the vessel and continue the journey with both ships. For the first 2 days, both vessels sailed ahead normally. But then a storm arrived. Their paths diverged and the unknown vessel had vanished. After the storm passed, the captain of Ellen Austin tried searching for the ship and spotted it through his telescope at some distance. When he reached it, again there were no signs of any humans on board. The crew members he had sent from his ship, they had suddenly vanished. Where did they go? What happened to them? Nobody knows. But the vessel was still intact. It said the captain of Ellen Austin tried once more to take the ship and sent more crew members to sail it. But again, after a few days, another storm came, and the same thing happened again. This unknown vessel got separated, and the new crew members on it also disappeared. When Ellen Austin returned, the ship's owner was so frightened after hearing this account that he sold the vessel to a German company. They changed the ship's name to Meta. Yes, exactly like when Facebook was renamed to Meta, this vessel was also renamed Meta. Isn't it a fascinating and legendary tale? But unfortunately, most likely, this event is just a tale. Because this incident is so ancient, proper verification isn't possible. And stories that are historically very famous, those passed down through generations, but cannot be properly verified, the reality cannot be uncovered, we call such stories legends. Urban legends. Many logical thinkers believe the Bermuda Triangle is one such legend. What's behind the Bermuda Triangle incidents? There are numerous theories about it. Some people blame extraterrestrials, that aliens arrived and kidnapped the planes and ships and took them away. Some people think there's a giant ocean creature underwater, responsible for the disappearances. Some people claim this ocean area is special and aircraft and vessels sink here. These theories are quite bizarre. So let's focus on theories that seem somewhat more scientific. One explanation is based on magnetism. The thing is that Earth's North Pole and the magnetic North Pole are two different locations. So when you look north using a compass, the compass points toward the magnetic North Pole. But the actual North Pole is somewhere nearby. It's called the geographic North Pole. You can see it in this image. The difference between the magnetic and geographic North Poles. Normally, when people use compasses, theories as has been done for centuries, they account for this difference. But there are certain places on Earth, if you use a compass in these places, you'd find the magnetic and geographic North Poles at the same location. The places where this occurs are called agonic lines. These agonic lines change position over time. But for the past 200-300 years, the 0-degree line has been around or within the Bermuda Triangle area. This can basically cause confusion. The next unusual thing about this region is that the Bermuda Triangle area, scientific explanations, is quite shallow. When you look at it on satellite imagery, you'll notice the Bahamas, Caribbean islands are surrounded by turquoise color everywhere. This ocean region stretches across a large distance with shallow depths. You can see the deep ocean surrounding it shown in dark blue color, and this region stands out when viewed from satellite. Because of this, it's believed that in ancient times, when ships entered this region, they got stuck due to shallow waters. Hidden shoals were spots where the ocean floor was quite high, but it wasn't visible from the ships. When ships passed over such areas, they would get stranded. The third peculiarity, this region has one of the highest hurricane rates globally. If you rank countries with the most hurricanes, China is number 1, then USA at number 2, followed by Cuba. Cuba is located in this region. And which American state experiences the most hurricanes? Florida. It's in this region. This area frequently experiences hurricanes and waterspouts. Methane hydrates is the fourth explanation. There are certain ocean areas that contain large deposits of methane hydrates. In Australia, scientists conducted laboratory experiments where they discovered that when there's excessive methane bubbles in water, water density decreases, and ships cannot maintain buoyancy, causing them to sink. It's the same logic as when water has high salt content. Water density increases, making it easier for things to float. Like the Dead Sea, a normal person who would sink in regular ocean water floats in the Dead Sea because the water density is high. The same phenomenon happens here, but reversed. If methane exists in the water, it's theorized if methane eruptions occur in water, also known as mud volcanoes. When underwater volcanoes erupt, methane is released, and if a ship is above that spot, the ship would immediately sink underwater without any warning, never to be heard from again. This is an interesting explanation. But in all Bermuda Triangle disappearances, there was no direct proof that any specific incident was caused by methane hydrates. This is simply a scientifically proven phenomenon that exists, but actually causing any ship's disappearance hasn't been proven yet. The fifth explanation is most significant in my view, because it relates to human psychology. This is called the Baader-Meinhof effect, or frequency illusion. The Baader-Meinhof effect, or frequency illusion, is a psychological phenomenon. It says that when we start noticing something more, we begin finding it more frequently around us. Remember when someone in your family purchased a new car? The car model you got, after purchasing it, you would have noticed that over the following days or even months, whenever you were on the street, you started noticing your car model more and more. You would spot the same model on the road. You might even feel more people bought that model after you did. In reality, the car's frequency on roads didn't change much. It was just as common after you bought it as before. But because you purchased the car, you started noticing it more. The same is said about the Bermuda Triangle. Though it's true that some major aircraft and vessels vanished in the Bermuda Triangle. But if you've noticed, in many regions across all oceans worldwide, such disappearances of planes and ships have occurred, areas outside the Bermuda Triangle. A recent example is the Malaysian Airlines flight. It didn't vanish near the Bermuda Triangle. The thing is, when people learned about the Bermuda Triangle mystery, they began paying more attention to disappearances and events there. The incidents occurring around the Bermuda Triangle, and similar incidents happening outside the Bermuda Triangle, people didn't pay much attention to those. Journalist Larry Kusha, who wrote The Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved, reached the same conclusion. He wrote that although some incidents occurred initially, but with time, as the Bermuda Triangle mystery became famous, some people started creating their own stories. There was mystery mongering, and some tales were completely absurd and never actually happened. The Ellen Austin story I mentioned is said to be one such fabrication. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of America states that there's no evidence that planes and ships vanishing in the Bermuda Triangle, the mysterious disappearances we hear about in the Bermuda Triangle, no evidence they happen more frequently in the Bermuda Triangle compared to any other ocean region. It's not like that. We see similar mysterious disappearances in other ocean regions as well. The United States Coast Guards have even stated that this shows America's Coast Guard doesn't even recognize the Bermuda Triangle as a dangerous zone. They mentioned, the area within the Bermuda Triangle has heavy traffic, which could explain some of the mystery. The Bermuda Triangle region sees heavy traffic of ships and airplanes. That's why chances of such incidents increase here. Combine that with the fact that the Bermuda Triangle often experiences hurricanes, and the Gulf Stream's presence, it's not surprising why ships might occasionally sink there. Considering this region experiences many hurricanes, and the water is shallow here, you get the straightforward answer to the Bermuda Triangle mystery. But despite frequent hurricanes, when WWF conducted their detailed study in 2013, listing the world's 10 most dangerous waters for shipping, in the top 10 most hazardous waters, the Bermuda Triangle region wasn't included. Simply put, the mysterious disappearances have no connection to the Bermuda Triangle. You might wonder now, what was that fireball Christopher Columbus saw falling into the ocean? There's a simple and scientific answer for that too. Conclusion. Scientists believe it was actually a meteor that Christopher Columbus witnessed.